Water, nature's most precious gift, vital to the survival of every living thing. Located in one of the most superb natural settings in the world, Nanaimo is fortunate to have a self-contained watershed system, virtually in its own backyard. The watershed is laden with sparkling rivers, streams, and mountain lakes, affording the nearly 77,000 residents of Nanaimo an abundant drinking water supply, unsurpassed anywhere in the world. Amazing to think that with the turn of a tap, we receive this invaluable natural resource, mountain fresh water. Nearly 60 million liters of it is piped to homes and businesses every day. The journey begins over the Pacific Ocean, where winds gather moisture, creating heavily laden clouds that are blown towards the western shores of Vancouver Island. Upon hitting the coastal mountains, the clouds build in density until they are forced to release their valuable cargo into the rainforests that flourish on the mountainsides. The journey continues as the rain and snowmelt flow into the streams, brooks, and rivers in the watershed in the South Fork of the Nanaimo River. The watershed is located 20 kilometers southwest of the city, encompassing 230 square kilometers, an area 3 times the size of Nanaimo. The Greater Nanaimo Water District was established in 1953 with specific authority to regulate water usage, emergency conditions, security, and pollution offenses. The district also oversees the financing and construction of the facilities necessary to supply water to the City of Nanaimo and surrounding areas. Although the GNWD owns the storage lakes and dams, the watershed lands are owned by Weyerhaeuser and Timber West. A partnership between the city and these companies was formed to protect the source and quality of our water. Access to the watershed is restricted and security is tightly monitored on a 24-hour basis. All personnel having access to the watershed are trained to protect it. It is our responsibility, and one we do not take lightly, to educate the community to use our water wisely for ourselves and future generations.
Then the cloud ring.
A multi-barrier approach is used to protect our water quality. This is accomplished by restricting access to the watershed, disinfecting to protect water from microorganisms, conducting a rigid water testing program. Proper stewardship of this resource is of utmost importance to ensure a safe and clean water supply. During the winter, heavy rain and snowmelt can turn peaceful streams into raging rivers, causing the levels of flowing water to dramatically increase over a 24-hour period. This can lead to turbidity or cloudiness in the water and is measured constantly throughout the system. To minimize this siltation, a well-administered maintenance plan has been put in place by GNWD and Weyerhaeuser. Ongoing discussions with Weyerhaeuser have resulted in programs to protect the watershed, including road maintenance, road deactivation, stream channel protection, culvert installation, and tree planting. Water samples are taken daily in the watershed to monitor water quality and ensure there is no contamination in any part of the system. Snowpack information is also monitored and used to forecast stream flows and regulate the floodgates for summer storage.
(220 centimeters). 226, 226. 218 centimeters of snow, 85 centimeters of water in the snowpack for a density of 39%.
Two large storage lakes, Jump Lake and the South Fork Dam Reservoir, collect the water, rain, and snowmelt flowing from the mountains. Built in 1930, the South Fork Dam is a concrete arch dam retaining nearly 2 million cubic meters or 420 million gallons of water. The Jump Creek Dam was constructed above the South Fork Dam in the early 1970s and has a capacity of 16.6 million cubic meters or 3.7 billion gallons. The addition of the Jump Creek Dam allows the smaller downstream South Fork Dam to maintain full reservoir storage during peak summer periods. From the South Fork Dam, two parallel pipelines transport the supply to treatment facilities located within the city's boundaries. The City of Nanaimo staff perform daily water quality tests in the distribution systems, with over 2,000 samples taken on raw and treated water annually. The BC Centre for Disease Control monitors the results, which must comply with the BC Safe Drinking Water regulations and also adhere to the guidelines for Canadian drinking water quality. Through a system of distribution mains and pumping stations, the water then travels to 8 balancing reservoirs located throughout the city to meet peak domestic demand. 4 more balancing reservoirs will be phased in over the next 10 to 25 years, in tandem with Nanaimo's growth patterns. As water is our most precious resource, we must pay for using it. The water supplied to each customer is metered individually. The more you use, the more you pay, which helps promote water conservation. In a region that receives so much rainfall, water conservation may seem unnecessary, but consider that 70% of our rain falls in the autumn and winter. Yet the greatest consumption of water occurs in the summer, increasing by 2.5 times. This requires the construction of costly storage facilities to meet the summer demand. But by taking steps to conserve water today, we can postpone adding water storage for 15 to 20 years. It makes environmental sense and it makes economic sense. Did you know that the average person living in the city of Nanaimo uses 600 liters of water daily at a cost of nearly 39 cents per day, while just 1 liter of bottled water costs $1.29 at your local supermarket? Our water must not be taken for granted, and it is the responsibility of each of us to use this valuable gift as wisely as possible. Watering restrictions are in effect during the high consumption period from June 1st to September 30th. These regulations help promote water conservation by restricting times and types of water use. The City of Nanaimo is committed to maintaining a safe, abundant, and cost-effective water supply for its citizens, today and tomorrow. For ourselves, our neighbors, and for future generations, please use water wisely. It's one of nature's most precious gifts, and it's there for you at the turn of a tap.